talented Hearthstone pro, but here he is back in his more comfortable role as a coach for his esports organization.
There will be the LeBlanc ban right off the bat.
Yep.
Not too surprising there. What will SBENU be looking to take out of the pool? Obviously, a lot of priority for this team on Gragas. If they can get it in that first round on the red side, I'm sure they would be quite happy. But just again, looking at how they lost to Samsung, they did get a nice dive off of a lane swap in that first game, and they may look to have used that again if they can find it. But Samsung recovering quite gracefully in that particular situation. Again, Samsung, I felt that from watching their matches in the qualifier that their main strength right now is just their turret control, their objective control, and they've been able to make some comebacks.
So there was a conversation at the Prime House earlier today that went like this: what should we wear in the booth during picks and bans? And someone else said, how about a shiny, pale, flesh-colored coat? And they're like, yeah, great idea. Here we are.
All right, Sejuani actually banned right here. But Eve is one of those junglers that hasn't been really playing to the Cinder Hulk meta as much as most other players. Like we said, stuck with that Nidalee for a long time, still really likes to make those. He's a very duelist-oriented jungler. He has that very unique build on Nidalee where he'll go machete straight into tier.
Well,
and it will be
gets through.
First pick Azir again. Crown known for his Cassiopeia, Azir, and LeBlanc play. And with Cassiopeia banned, feels comfortable taking that Azir. Obviously not worried about Sasin possibly playing Zed into him, even though he'd have to blind pick it anyway. So Gnar hovered over by Soul. Maokai, which we saw as such a high priority pick in our last match, not being taken yet. And they may prefer just to get that range versus melee matchup if they have it in the top lane.
Potentially taking this Vi. I mean, the top 3 popular junglers are not available right now, so we're going to see some interesting stuff in the jungle this game. Catch mulling over his options.
Should be mulling over Elise. That is not a great pick right now. Sivir Maokai. Very powerful priority picks, and that's what they're going to lock in.
You can always pick that jungler later. I think that's a good choice. So we'll see if Eve plays this Lee Sin. Might go back to that Nidalee. Or Nunu, still available too. See it a lot with the Azir.
I think the Nunu pick here is quite good. Obviously, they already have the Azir, so you've got a lot of synergy going there. Samsung did play the Azir-Nunu combination in the qualifier as well, and it was just about their zoning on turrets, and SBENU was too slow to react to the turret pressure. So if I'm Samsung coming in here and I can get champions that I can really just push down turrets quickly with a Nunu, I'm going to go ahead and take that. They can take Lucian here just fine. Fury obviously very comfortable on that champion. There's the Janna for a little bit more disengage.
And for some really powered up AD carries as well too with that shield. Adding that AD.
Really good way to take down some early turrets. So it seems like Samsung just coming in with the same game plan that saw them to a victory in their best of 3 against SBENU in the qualifiers. Could take the Lee Sin here. Again, that was a pick that has seen some resurgence.
Yep. And are we going to see the Bard? I feel like we're going to see Bard at some point during the season. But it's just such a hard champion to work into team compositions. Hard to use it well.
So, by the way, we are on patch 5.8. I was misinformed about the patch we were on, which I figured out as soon as Zed was not taking 1 second to return to his shadow after Deathmark. So the Lee Sin is a bit of a riskier pick under these circumstances, but they're going to take it.
Oh, well, Nautilus is cool too. But. And so the final 2 picks for Samsung now.
Wouldn't be surprised to see the Lucian here. But they're trying to make plays again in the early game. You have to make this Lee Sin count. Hecarim still available. It has been one of Kuve's best champions. Hecarim and then Lucian. I can easily see being the picks.
Looks like it certainly might be. You never know, too. This could be like a mid Lee Sin and a jungle Nautilus for SBENU as well.
That would be quite surprising.
Well, I've learned to be unsurprised by surprises here.
So what is SBENU going to do? They're in a little bit of a bind right here. Sasin, I'm not sure if he is going to be up to the task of playing Zed here. And if they play Kassadin, they run into a situation. Okay, they're going to play Fizz, actually.
Here we go. Right. Welcome to Summoner's Rift for our second best of 3 of the night. And I've got a feeling that Cuvée is going to be heading back to base very soon because he has not bought items yet. He's just so excited to get out there. He's like, yeah, we're back. Champions is back. I'm feeling good. I'm ready to throw a ward into try. Uh-oh. He's going to realize, like, right now. Yep.
He got a trinket at least. Now, I'm wondering.
Oh, he did get the trinket.
What he is going to do right here.
Yeah,
because
he might
there
just
may be a weird plan.
Yeah.
Sometimes with Hecarim, if you do that camp early with Smite, I mean, we've seen situations on Hecarim where you buy Flask, and then you do a jungle camp, and then you go back and buy Cloth Armor, or something like that. So he may be waiting to see what his lane is, but I somehow think he's just going to go back and
yeah, there we go. Yep, get the Flask. Yeah.
Okay, but he's not probably going to not buy anything else, because if he is in a lane swap situation, that Cloth Armor is going to be quite useful, especially if he has to go back to the jungle and jungle for a little bit. Whereas Cloth Armor, obviously, against Maokai, not going to be particularly awesome for him, but they're trying to anticipate a lane swap because of the fact that SBENU played the lane swap better last time, so they can be confident doing that. And, of course, the Samsung fans still here. The Samsung fans are really diehard, by the way.
Yeah, they are. Like, if you...
Fury, so Fury T, I guess.
Whatever. Whatever, Samsung fans. It's okay. Yeah, but if you're looking for hardcore League of Legends fans in Korea, Samsung is definitely one of the craziest, in a good way. Looks like they're going to give the big Krug over to Fury. Yep.
Yeah, going to go ahead and clear the Krug camp right there. Now they know Lee Sin is starting over at that blue buff.
Yep.
And lane swap has commenced, so no freeze here for Samsung. Crown looks to bully out Sasin early on. Now Nautilus is going to go ahead and check over at the blue buff, see if he can. Is he actually? No, he's not taking damage. He's going to do the small camp here. This is really annoying for the enemy jungler because that little bit of XP can really slow them down. Now there was a Wolf Spirit right there chasing him around a little bit. But you want to take these 2 small golems because it makes it very difficult for the jungler to level up off of this camp. And Catch may go ahead and take that blue, but very quick dragon. So what we've seen so far, no freeze from Samsung, quick shove into the turret, followed by a dragon. Now they knew that their blue was being taken, so they're going to go ahead and sacrifice it. They'll be happy to make that trade. Eve not really needing a blue buff, of course, with Nunu's passive, you're going to get a lot of free spells anyway.
Right. So a good adaptation by Samsung. They're not phased at all by losing that blue. Cuvée may be like, well, I wanted that blue. Well, too bad, Cuvée. You can get the Gromp.
And get the Gromp he will.
That's right. Kind of sounded like an insult when I said that.
All right, now the question is,
get the Gromp.
Are they going to dive this on the next wave? Sol was able to TP into the bottom side, and they saw Hecarim over at the Gromp, and it doesn't look like he's going to be able to break that freeze quite yet. So he's just going to recall. And then will he TP or just walk into lane? A bit of a difference right here, but Samsung definitely looking to go ahead and fast push this a little bit. Sasin, that Playful Trickster gets a bit of damage down. Luna's still here. It looks like they're trying to reverse this and just freeze it out at the moment after picking up the dragon.
Oh, a little bit of damage onto Sol. It does not connect with that Whirlwind. Yeah, Crown getting a nice little CS lead early on, but you do expect Azir to be a bit of a bully in lane early.
Yeah, especially against this Fizz.
Yeah.
Not too surprising at all.
Yeah, I have to be really careful kind of bouncing around the Sand Soldiers.
Meanwhile, Cuvée does spot out the Scuttler right there already taken. Will be doing some bit of counter jungling in response. So Cuvée ahead in CS, despite the fact that he just isn't going to lane. Instead, helping out Nunu. A bit of the counter jungling, and Catch isn't going to find too many camps right now. His topside jungle already cleared out. Now his Raptor's cleared as well. And he hasn't been able to make any plays with this Lee Sin, although still early in the game.
Well, you know, that's the power of that Nunu, too, is you can get in and invade and take so much of your enemy jungle.
Well, especially with the smite, too, on the top laner. Ketch is going to be losing a lot of camps if this continues. It's like Samsung has chosen to push this wave in the end. Lee Sin is there waiting just to make sure that there isn't any diving. Sol can go ahead and pick up a lot of that experience and CS. And finally, we may see a return to the top side, and Cuvée at 5.5 minutes into this game will hit the lane. Eve is there as well. They want to break this freeze.
Yeah, picks up that skirmisher saber really quickly this game, too. Wanting to be able to fight as easily as he can.
So here we go. Easy clear out right there. Eve just patrolling the tri-brush, making sure that there isn't going to be too much of an all-in attempt here onto this Hecarim. And so both teams playing out this lane swap pretty well, actually. Different styles, but making it work. Samsung still with a slight advantage. That blue steel, of course, not really worth the dragon that Samsung saw earlier. So nice to see Samsung cleaning up some of those situations that cost them.
Wow, Sassen taking a lot of poke from that one Sand Soldier. Man. And Sol able to still get a decent amount of farm down in bot lane.
I'm a bit surprised that we see Luna hanging around bottom side so much right here. Now with the freeze, Fury should be able to handle himself, and that should open up Luna for some more roaming. And the counterplay against this Lee Sin is very important. Yes, they did get some nice wards onto the top side. And look at the play too. Eve actually opting for a Sightstone before even upgrading his machete. So they're putting a premium. They know if Ketch can't make plays early on this Lee Sin, he's going to be irrelevant. Here we go.
Yeah, Crown ulted by Sassen. Here comes Ketch as well too. They're going to have to push him back into turret. Eve helping out quite a bit there, and there's just not a lot that SBENU can do.
Yeah, he used his barrier on that. Didn't see fit to try and make some sort of flashy play with the Emperor's Divide, instead just playing defensively. And
yeah,
I think Samsung knows that they have this tremendous scaling advantage this game. I mean, they've got a blood-boiled Lucian and a Zir, as well as a Hecarim with Smite. So
it's interesting, though, because Patience isn't really a talent that Samsung had in the past.
Nice forcing the flash right there on Sol, and that's true.
Yep.
You know, they haven't played well in the late game.
Methodical is not how I would describe Samsung as of last season, but
look at how they're playing. Eve, that jungler who traditionally has liked to play aggressively, this time going for the least aggressive, most vision-centric build possible, and just attempting to shut down the other jungler. So this is, I think, a bit of a different style than we've seen previously from Eve, and shows some development right here, and certainly he's making it work. Now they're trying to take the blue buff again.
Yep.
Second round, keep it away from this Azir, and
looks like they can.
4 people there. There's not really too much that Samsung can do.
Crown doesn't seem too hurt by this anyway, so I don't think he's quite as worried as some of the other mid laners are a little bit more blue buff dependent would be.
Now, Samsung has allowed this Maokai to really get ahead in terms of farm, though, because they've been a bit indecisive about whether they want to freeze or whether they want to push this turret, and Janna has been staying around on the bottom side in spite of that not really helping or doing very much at all. So they need to make a decision about whether they want to fast push to this or whether they want to freeze it. Well, the decision doesn't have to be made any longer because we now have the 2v2 right as this dragon's about to spawn. So SBENU swapping back into the bottom side for that control at the appropriate time, but really deep wards going in the interim as they see Maokai in the top lane.
Wow, this is probably already the most methodical and well played out early game I've seen Samsung do.
I'm quite impressed by Samsung. What we've seen, another dragon immediately on it. Look at the timing too. Right after it spawns, 6 wards in the enemy jungle. They know exactly what's going on. Cuvée is standing around in the far back from the minion wave, waiting to TP if necessary, where he can't be interrupted by Sol. And that is an easy dragon for Samsung.
Yeah, this Samsung team is looking a bit different in a good way. And it's only the first 9 minutes of the first game of this season, but already they're really showing a lot of poise that they didn't have before.
Yeah, I really felt we saw this in the qualifiers as well. What impressed me was how well how well this Samsung team was adapting to being from behind and figuring out a way to get back in the game. And here's Eve again, just standing in lane, blood boiling fury.
Well, that works.
And now they're going to fast push the mid tower. So they've identified that this Fizz still has very low wave clear, only a couple Doran's rings, and they really want to take this down from 50% to 0. They've got great siege, and they have that Azir. Along with the Blood Boil, they already have the BF sword, so this should be pretty easy for them. This is great play from Samsung.
Yeah, I think they're going to get this mid lane turret too. It looks like SBENU might want to fight here. Catch coming in as well. They have the ult onto Eve, not the most ideal situation here. Catch getting very, very low though. Eve as well. That's another kill. First blood for Fury as Samsung disengages. Nice heal from Luna coming in. That's a double kill now for Fury, and they just absolutely destroy SBENU in that team fight. They lost Eve, but getting the double kill onto Fury along with that first blood gold is pretty huge.
Well, they were so ready for that
in
the end. Look at the wards they have at the bottom side of the map right there. So they knew everyone was coming up, ready to take that fight, and they played it out well. And they're going to get the turret.
Oh man, the knock up onto Saucin. Can he get away with playful stricter? Fury flashes in. Another kill, this one going to Crown. Oh, Samsung looking really good in this first game so far.
This is very crisp.
No kidding.
Now, like I said, this is the same style of play that we saw from them in the qualifier, so I'm wondering how deep their pool of strategies go, but it's for sure that they're very good at executing some of these fast push strats.
Yeah.
And they're keeping it up here tonight. So,
well, the communication seems really, really good too. You know, just in that last fight to have the Whirlwind loaded up to hit Saucin right as the turret went down too, and then they transitioned to the kill. It was very, very smooth.
You know, it is worth noting that Samsung, in spite of their tribulations in the last season, did retain the old coach from Samsung Blue. And that's a coach that, you know, if you think about Samsung Blue, that was a team that in 2013 was pretty laughably bad.
Yeah. Oh, they're going to catch Eve here. Eve in a little bit of trouble using his ult. Getting kicked back again. They're going to use 2 ults on him, actually. There's a knockup. The shield from Luna might be enough, but here comes Saucin to try to finish things off. He's going to use his ult. So there you go. Now 3 ults used to take down Eve.
There's a miscoordination of timing there between Luna and Eve on getting the wards in. So they walked into a dark jungle. He walked into a dark jungle by himself and sort of got what he deserved right there.
Will this lead, though, to possibly an easier objective for Samsung because SBENU doesn't really have the ability to fight it too much?
Let's see what they choose to do with this. Blue buff is up right now for SBENU, and Catch did have to go back. He will be building Cinder Hulk Lease in this game, so his late game contributions are going to be pretty minimal.
Cinder Hulk Lease in. Okay.
But look how much this opens up the map. And Fizz somehow has to figure out how to get over to this blue buff. Yes, they have the vision right there, but they have no pressure in mid or bottom. There's the turret going up. It's so hard for them to take this blue and live.
They're going to try. There's a knock-up on Catch.
Had to take it on to Catch.
Yep.
So they couldn't transfer it over. So Samsung just playing this big pressure game.
Yep. I mean, denying it from the mid laner and putting it on a jungler that doesn't really need it is almost as good as taking it yourself.
I really like what we... yes, Eve has died a couple of times this game, and that last kill in particular wasn't too great. But look again, they're already loaded back up. 4 men pushing this turret. There we go.
Go in after Divide, pushes Secret back. Nice play from Crown to give Fury another kill there. Wow.
And Fury has really been hard carrying this team too.
Yeah, definitely.
And this is the player you want to hard carry. Now, Fury, we know, is an extremely good player in solo queue.
Oh, Culling used. Nuclear has to pop his ult just to get out.
Wow, look at this too. Just healing up right there in front of the turret. Can't quite take it down, but Fury is a player who spent most of last season with 2 accounts in the top 15 in Korean solo queue. So his mechanical skill has been there. It's just been his team coordination and synergy with his teammates that's been a bit lacking, but they figured out this strategy that works, and it's not like Samsung's going to get less powerful either. An early gold lead and this level of control is so valuable because Hecarim and Azir are going to scale like crazy into the late game, particularly with the Nunu there to amp Azir's damage up even further.
Now, Cuvée is a little bit behind in CS to Seoul. It's about, well, quite a bit behind, actually. But You do have to keep in mind, of course, with these Smite top lanes, never mind, the catch on the Crown getting completely caught out there. Whoops, that happens. But going back to Cuvée, you have to understand some of the CS's jungle camps with more money attached to them, so.
Second time we've seen a Samsung player walk into a dark side of the jungle with very little respect for where his opponents could be this game. So
Does happen, I guess.
Yeah, Samsung not respecting that vision control as much as they should.
Well, Dragon back up in about 5 now.
And no Azir there for this fight, however.
Yeah, looks like they might have to give it up.
Well, also
We'll
no
see.
wards from SBENU, like literally
you're
none on the bottom side of the map. So it's very dangerous for them to walk in there, and they don't have ults.
They can just push Sasin away a little bit here.
You need that Fizz ult if you want to fight this one.
All right, just pushing up the mid lane again.
They bought enough time for Crown to revive and head back down, and now the pings are coming in.
Yep, they see that recall. I mean, the warding is so good in the enemy jungle for Samsung that they can take another essentially free dragon because they just know they're completely safe. 3 dragons already at 16 minutes.
Holy cow.
And 2 turrets ahead in kills. Yeah, what a game so far for Samsung.
Yeah, again, some silly mistakes from Samsung, but on the whole, their strategy is really coming together. And
Yeah.
that is sort of an echo of what we saw in the qualifiers as well. They would make some really silly individual mistakes, but as a team, they would figure out how to win the game. So if they can eliminate some of these individual misplays and couple it with this strong teamwork that we're seeing, they're going to be a much better team this season.
So far, so good. Game number 1 anyway.
Yeah, if we think back to Samsung, what was their big problem really? It was that, oh, there's a smite.
Stole it.
Their problem last season was that they really they couldn't figure out how to play compositions properly. And they didn't play with a whole lot of cohesive strategy, but it's definitely not the case the last couple of weeks. Cuvée.
Oh, Cuvée might be getting dove here. We'll see if he can get away on his ult. He's trying to make something happen, but there's the ult from Sasin as well. Moving back again. And nope, not able to get the turret to do enough damage. Nice aggro juggling on that turret from SBENU.
Yeah, but at the same time, choosing not to use his ult right there, it would appear holding it to see if he could make a play with it after he comes back up, knowing that he was dead regardless. And in the meantime, Samsung continues to push forward 2 lanes right now, gets a turret, and looks like it will be a 1-for-1 trade in the end, but they're going to lose a lot of CS to that mid lane.
I suppose that's the thing, you know, is if you see that you're going to get taken out, you might as well just make it last as long as possible. Let your team get that top lane turret.
And you can still maybe make a TP ult play right here, as we see the home guards already completed for Cuvée, even though, again, he is falling pretty far behind in terms of CS, so Sol will be getting tankier and tankier. But that said...
Oh, they might be catching people here. Eve finds Tucson, and actually, SBENU just on the run now. Sonicboom.
Okay.
Another blue buff.
Keep this away from Sasin one more time.
Yep, Sasin moving off to the side. He's going to try to flank here. It looks like they take the blue buff, and they get out just in time. So no fight opportunities in that narrow corridor for the SBENU Sonicbooms, or just SBENU
Sonicboom. It's not like
no S.
It's not like the stealths, though.
Stealths.
I know we're
that's
used
right.
to random plurals on our Korean teams that have airplane-sounding names.
It's true.
But it's just the Sonicboom this time. They are a singular Sonicboom. It's because they're together, Doa. They're all together in the Sonicboom playing. Wow!
Whoa! Oh, and the flash from Secret gets out of Emperor's Divide, but trading a flash for an ultimate. Not feeling too bad. Although Crown used his barrier and his flash there too, so getting a bit overeager.
Yeah, it was a bit of a preemptive barrier right there, trying to make the play and anticipating what would be coming next, but instead, Secret does manage to get the fast fingers on the flash and taking a huge amount of damage.
Oh,
okay.
He got the crit. Wow.
Yeah, wow indeed. I mean, he already has that zeal there in
Yeah.
addition to the Infinity Edge. So what is Samsung going to do with this? They're pinging down onto the top side, wanting to do something. Sasin.
Well, they're going to try to catch Sol here, it looks like. Sol, has to teleport back to base. It's a nice little edge for Samsung, as they'll have that teleport advantage now for a few minutes.
There we go. Just going to go ahead and take this Scuttle Crab right there. The question is, do they know they have the TP advantage?
Well, they were heading up to try to find him initially, so I would imagine, yeah. They know he got out somehow. Hard to say, I suppose. Dragon up in a couple minutes.
Well, Saucin has all the kills right now on the SBENU, so he's really going to have to carry this game. Built the Sheen after the Morellonomicon. Now it's like he may be going into Hourglass as his next item.
Wouldn't be a bad idea. Uve is going to go ahead and help that blue buff go over to Crown. And Fury just going to take red, I suppose. 1 minute till Dragon now, and SBENU really wants to take this one. So if they let Samsung get up to 4 dragons at like 22 minutes,
it's going to be a pretty much, well, yeah, pretty much an impossible game to win at that point, because the 5 dragons red is just absolutely enormous at that point, and Samsung's composition is just going to keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger, and they have so many ways to deal with Fizz.
Yeah.
I mean, you could just sit there in absolute zero and dare him to Playful Trickster into your team.
You know, the thing is, too, is that Samsung's not overreaching at all with this. They're playing very safe, very methodical at the same time.
Vision control has been absolutely ridiculous this game. And
yeah. Dragon at 30. Samsung just needs to patrol the little area of wards. Oh, Secret getting bursted down, and they get the knockup. Do they get the kill? The culling! Oh, it nearly takes him out.
Yeah, but they got enough right there, obviously.
Yeah,
that chunk.
definitely.
Hugely important. Again, Fury managing to hit a nearly full channel culling right on the support. And how are you supposed to fight after that in that 4v5 now? They're going to be easily able to refresh their wards, use their lenses, clear out absolutely anything, and man, Dragon is completely dark for SBENU.
Yeah, this is being a pretty one-sided game so far in favor of Samsung, as they're going to take another unopposed Dragon. This is a it looks like a completely different Samsung team.
Their level of coordination is much superior.
Crown, I mean, I know you can't read too much into one game, but he already looks better than both Bliss and Ace.
Go. Righteous Glory used right there. Are they going to turn this? Saucin on the side, looking for that flank, but I don't think that Samsung wants to take that risk right now. They're happy just to continue poking and defend their turret.
Fury's getting a little bit crazy here.
Yeah, I love watching Fury play Lucian, though. It's a bit of a waste of an ult.
He was like, I want to get knocked up, too. Getting locked in the backlines, will he an ult off? He does. Flashes back. SBENU's chasing this. The ult on the Eve. They're going to get 1 kill at least. Meanwhile, Soul comes in the backlines, gets knocked back out by that Emperor's Divide. Saucin, way deep, manages to get the kill onto Fury here. Now he's going after Crown. And so SBENU not quite dead yet, winning the little skirmish in the jungle there at least. But
yeah, Cuvée a bit late right there to the party. So they actually do manage to get some nice kills. Saucin picks up yet another one, and Lee Sin in the mid lane will take out the turret. Saucin looking for another one. Saucin did kill Fury with the damage over time from Fizz. Just barely taking the kill, and that'll propel SBENU to a slight gold lead in spite of the 4 dragons already under Samsung's belt.
Well, and that's when you have to talk about the value that these dragons give that just isn't shown in gold. Let's take a look at this fight, though. Eve tries to get behind it, just gets knocked up himself, and takes so long before he can actually use his ult.
Yeah, Crown also has a lot of weird sand soldiers, like in that brush right there that Cuvé's trying to get to. So Eve moves forward, but in his flashback, and there's Fury just going down to the damage over time. Meanwhile, Crown backs off with his sand soldiers, and that'll secure another turret in the end for SBENU.
Yep. So they're even on turrets. They're 1 ahead in kills, but being down at 4 dragons is
going for Cinder Hulk into Trinity Force. This is a very aggressive Hecarim build, one that we rarely see. You either do Ignite and go into that Trinity Force first, or you take Smite and then build tank after the Cinder Hulk enchantment is complete. So he really just wants to get into the back line, 1-shot nuclear, and then have his team clean up from there. But he needs to be playing these fights differently in that situation. If you want to go for an aggressive build like that, you have to get the home guard teleport flank, because you can't play frontline in that situation. You are basically dedicating yourself to clearing out the backline immediately, and you're just not going to live if Nuclear's able to get a couple autos on you.
You know, Samsung's just got a lot of burst in general this game.
What do you do?
Result, things like that.
But they have to coordinate better about these setups, because Kuve's current positioning and his team getting into these fights isn't really helping out.
I find it interesting that Kuve was like the only lane that they didn't find another replacement for. I suppose they didn't for Eve either, but it really looked at the end of last season like Kuve was going to be fighting for his job here, but so far he seems to have it locked down.
Yeah, I don't know who you take to replace Kuve though, because his solo queue performance has been really good. Again, he's another Samsung player that has been consistently in the top 20.
Well, that's the puzzle, right? Is it seems like on solo queue he's very strong, but when it comes to actual professional matches, he's struggled quite a bit.
I think with Kuve though, we did see some clear improvement over the course of last season.
Yeah.
So
he certainly is getting better.
And some of these fights, too, have been Samsung playing too far forward and not giving Kuve a chance to actually set up right there. So Samsung getting caught out just a bit, and Fury will grab the red buff slowly as it releashes multiple times.
He just wants to savor the moment, you know? He's like, the red buff. All right, traps a fighter on Baron here. Crown trying to take out a turret with that Sand Soldier. It looks like he'll get it.
So SBENU really needs to work on their vision control, though. In terms of wards this game, it has been clearly dominated by Samsung.
Oh, yeah.
And now SBENU trying to bait this Baron, pings furiously going down.
Maybe they can do it. They jump onto Eve. They kick him back. There's a culling into the enemy team. Eve gets off a little bit of an ult before going down.
Wow, Crown really preemptively ulted right there, trying to cut off the choke point.
Yeah.
And now they are going to find themselves probably baited once again right by this Baron as they take out 2 wards right in the mouth of the pit. And there come the sweepers. Wow, 1 sweeper gets 3 wards. That is a huge benefit. So now they can bait, just do the same thing again.
And Samsung kind of has to check it. I think there's going to be a whirlwind going in there, though. Yep. There it is.
Oh, the
that was
flash
a close call.
Anchor there. Not able to connect. Fury checks it with his W.
I like the effort, though, you know? If you're going to go all in on something like that, totally throw out the flash anchor. Well, about 35 seconds now until the dragon comes up again, and this would be dragon number 5. So SBENU needs to be very careful in the immediate future because they cannot give up this 5th dragon. If Samsung gets the 5th dragon at sub 30 minutes, it's going to be really hard.
Kuve has his Trinity Force now.
Yep.
So he can actually really effectively deal with Nuclear. And there is Secret.
Wow, Secret gets caught by Crown, and there's a kill. Now, Emperor's Divide was used.
Every time Secret gets caught out and takes huge chunks right before these dragons hit. So, SBENU just hasn't been able to contest a Dragon 5v5.
Oh, they find Catch. Catch nearly caught. Meanwhile, the Azir turret does go down, but Dragon is up. And so can SBENU win the 4v5? Here we go, Righteous Glory used. They're going to jump into Crown the back lines. Immediately Luna pushes people back with that ultimate. Kuve getting chased around, but it's splitting up the SBENU team. That's allowing Samsung to come in from behind and win a pretty easy fight. Goodbye, Sasin. And it looks like 5th Dragon went to Samsung. Oh boy.
And now, do you go ahead and take the Baron here? Kuve's already recalling. He can come back in with full HP. They're slowly ticking off these wards, and now they're just going to go for it.
Yeah, they're going to take out the Baron really quickly, too, as you can see. SBENU coming in, teleport him, just to make sure that they can help out a little bit. There goes Baron.
Got the Baron right there, even though he used his smite, and there we go, another culling.
Look at that damage on the Nuclear, the flash ahead. Fury can't quite get the kill, but it's all about pushing people off of these objectives. Man, that is some damage.
And look at that dash forward from Fury. This is why, remember, last season when we used to watch Fury's Lucian, he's just so aggressive on this champion, even through the Nautilus ult, constantly moving forward and maximizing his damage in this team fight. I'm so glad to be seeing him play, to see him rather play this champion again, because it's always a pleasure.
Man, well, no pleasure on the side of SBENU as they're getting pretty rocked by Samsung right now. Look at all that damage. Secret's like, no worries, I got you.
Oh, he's nailing him in the end.
Yep.
Fury with 100% kill contribution rate for his team so far in this game. Now with the Baron, already with 5 Dragon stacks here, so early on in this game.
So what objectives are they going to push here? It looks like the bottom tier 2 is the first priority, getting what's farthest away from Baron. If you get a choice, it's a good one to go in.
Well, I think this fist pick was definitely a mistake. Again, they know how they were beaten by this fast-pushing style of Samsung in the qualifier, and they just sort of walked right into it again.
That's the thing. Oh, meanwhile, wow, Kube solos Sasson. Did I just say that? Kube solos somebody? He's been better since the Cinder Hulk meta's come out.
He also has 5 Dragon stacks in the Baron buff.
Oh yeah, that helps too. That's true. That's pretty nice. Wow. Come on, Miniwave. All right, and Blood Boil on Fury. Fury is absolutely terrifying right now. Look at all that damage. Oh, man.
They just chew through these towers so quick. You have an Azir, you have a Blood Boil.
Yeah, they're moving to the mid lane now, and there's really nothing that SBENU can do about it. Let me get a couple inhibitors out of that. This is a culling again, and it still even does so much damage to the top lane. Are you kidding me?
Well, he is dealing a lot of true damage to the top laner with that 5th Dragon stack as well. So Fury's going to pop over the wall in a very methodical destruction taking place off SBENU's base.
This is just disgusting, man. Wow.
I mean, they are doing 30% extra damage to towers right now, so and when you start popping Sand Soldiers on them.
Yeah. SBENU just trying to hold on for dear life at this point, but I think it's pretty close to over.
Indeed it is.
Yep.
Well,
the Dragon buff is gone, though.
Yeah, some of these buffs are wearing off.
Yeah, Baron is nearly gone. But Samsung's still very strong regardless. Here we go, SBENU, last-ditch effort. Movement there to use that ult to put people back. Emperor's Divide creates that space again. Sasson doesn't hit anyone with that ult. He's going to get taken down. Meanwhile, Fury already in the back doing damage. He is a one-man army at this point, taking the turret and taking apart SBENU's Sonicboom. The only Sonicboom we're hearing is from how fast they're running away from Samsung.
It's pretty fast if we're hearing a Sonicboom.
It is. It's about as fast as you're ever going to go. And at 32 minutes, Samsung is ready to just crush the life out of SBENU here in game 1. Wow. This series may not be quite as close as the last one. There it goes, GG. Game 1 is over. Listen, Ace, in my mind. Here we go. Picks and bans for game number 2. It's nice to hear the Samsung fans have something to cheer on. Those jackets offend me at the deepest level.
Do they?
Yeah, really.
You don't like the,
I'm not, you know,
the neon green and blue?
I mean, no, not the player jackets, the coach jackets.
No, the coach jackets.
I mean, you know me, I'm not the type to really criticize fashion. I feel like I'm not really in a place where I can criticize fashion that much.
Nope,
but
anybody can criticize those, Doa.
with those coats, yeah, I feel like anyone has license to say that coat should never be worn by any living being.
All right, well, Hecarim and Cassiopeia taking out no more top lane Hecarim shenanigans for Cuvée in this game. Cassiopeia banned this game, so pretty different pick ban strategy. Twisted Fate.
Huh, that's interesting.
Do it. Clearly a threatening Twisted Fate player.
I guess so.
You know, they don't want that champion to come out here, so what will they go with as their last ban? Again, very different bans. Previously, SBENU, Cassiopeia, Rek'Sai, and Callista. So retaining the Cassiopeia.
It's back again.
I know it's back. It's here to torture us every pick ban phase. LeBlanc.
LeBlanc ban, okay.
Not banned or picked at all in the last match. Currently, they are suddenly concerned with Crown in that way. And there is the Azir ban actually coming in from Samsung. So not wanting SBENU to go ahead and first pick that champion.
Yep. So what's the first pick going to be for SBENU Sonicboom?
Well, this should really test Crown's champion pool because with both Azir and Cassiopeia out, as well as LeBlanc, he's going to have to move to something pretty different in terms of traditional meta picks right now and champions that we know he plays. So Thresh has been a pretty contested ban tonight, but it looks like the Gragas was banned by Samsung in match 1, and Catch played Gragas in 4 games out of his 5 games during the qualifiers this past weekend.
Well, it's funny that we saw, so much of a priority on the jungle bans in game number 1, and now in game number 2, not a single one.
And there we go, Maokai up. They prefer, Kuve is going to prefer to take that Gnar over the Maokai.
I don't think Duet's going to do Yasuo. You never know.
Well, he got the epic Gragas synergy, Doa. He has 2 knockups.
That's true.
To ult off of. I'm just joking.
You only need
really
one last breath. That's right. Kennen maybe for Soul or Vivid, I suppose, too.
Yeah, possibly even a mid Kennen. It's a pretty ambiguous pick in the current meta. Although playing Kennen without Kalista, not always the best plan.
Well, not a support Kennen, apparently.
Now, Soul did play Kennen during the qualifiers in the top lane.
All right.
So that pick still on the table for them, but a little bit showing their hand, I feel, and they're going to switch it over to the Maokai. So we'll take that matchup into the Gnar, and early picking the Alistar as well.
All right. And I suppose just not wanting to really show too much of what they have in mind.
There's a lot of melee champs here, though, to deal with Samsung once again in terms of that more rapid pushing style that they've developed. Urgot's still a threat, and one thing that's really interesting about what we saw during the qualifiers is that Urgot did make it through some of the picks and bans, but really not being that same ultra high priority pick that we saw at the mid-season invitational. And the Urgot Alistar lane still extremely strong. Fury, longtime Jinx player, back when he was on Prime, known as Zed Engine, he did play a lot of Jinx. Definitely a player who is a Jinx main.
And it was supposed to be Jet Engine, but just the way that English goes to Korean and then back to English, he ended up being Zed Engine.
Oops.
Yep.
It's because there is no Z sound in the Korean language, so it always is pronounced as a J sound instead. So they actually can't differentiate between Z's and J's.
Yeah, you just kind of go for like a hard sort of Z sound. Jet Engine. So, final 2 picks. For SBENU, Sonicboom. Lucian locked in for Dan, and it looks like Duet's going to do Ziggs in the mid lane. Not very exciting. And there's a Rek'Sai for Eve. Okay, so pretty powerful composition for Samsung.
Well,
but
Samsung's
SBENU
really based around this Jinx. This is a definite protect the Jinx composition that we have rolling right here. It all depends on Fury, but they've been playing more and more around Fury, especially as we saw in that last game. Really, Eve putting so much jungle priority on just being in lane with Fury to push down turrets, and Jinx, one of the best fast-pushing champions in the game. We'll see if they actually decide to take the lane swap.
All right, welcome to Summoner's Rift. SBENU Sonicboom versus Samsung. Oh, SBENU actually having a lot of fans here. Migrating over from Prime, I'm sure. And SBENU, do it. Style, start, do it. No, that's a different shoe company. You have to change your ID.
I see what they're doing now. This is a great hybrid marketing campaign
I guess
for SBENU.
SBENU, the Nike buyout is coming.
SBENU, do it.
That's right.
So close.
Style, start, I'm loving it.
Just take all slogans from all major brands.
Yep. That's right.
See, I don't even know what Reebok's slogan is. Reebok marketing department, you get on that. I don't even know what your slogan is.
We're not Adidas.
I don't know what Adidas is either. It's Nike.
What, do you want me to say it? Adidas?
No,
like you say
I
it
don't.
In Germany?
No, I
right.
do not want you to do that.
Okay.
No one asked you to do that, though.
Hey, I was just asking. If you don't want me to do it, just say so. It's going to be a long season, Monty. It's going to be.
It will be, indeed.
A long one.
We only have 45 best of threes in the first round robin.
Yeah. It'll be good. We can do it.
You don't even have to do it all. I'm the one who has to do it.
Well, I'm going to be doing other things. Don't worry.
All right, well,
we'll do this one together.
Okay, so Fury and Luna will be taking the Gromp right here, trading that aggro. Meanwhile, no attempt to take the Krugs, so there will be a slight XP advantage here for the Samsung duo lane. As Dan and Vivid not going to be taking any of those jungle camps early on, so
here comes the Fury.
That should be his tagline.
That's right. Here comes the Fury. Here comes the me. Yep.
That's Samsung's house motto. Ours is the Fury.
Style, start, surge. That's an older one.
All right, so Dan and Vivid are going to head back as soon as they see what is unfolding in front of them. Instead, go ahead and use that Alistair heal to take one of the small Krugs as they're zoned out anyway. Good use of the time if you're going to be waiting for that minion wave. And they knew that Luna and Fury had gotten that Krug, so make the most of their time in the laning phase. Eve heading up into the top side right now, looking for that early gank onto Maokai. Maokai without that TP, but is a level up at the current time.
There we go. Gonna try to make a play onto Soul here. Soul, just advance, gets knocked up immediately. Oh, flashes out of the stun though.
Yeah, nice
he was ready.
Force of the flash right there from Eve.
Yep.
Looking to make that play, and now Fury using those rockets to get some pretty nice zoning out.
Doing a bit of damage.
He's trying to prevent the last hitting right now, being as annoying as possible to let these turrets take some of that CS. That's really good positioning on the tower from Fury. A bit risky if the Gragas had been there.
Yeah.
And he was, in fact, right at the Krugs, but not yet able to make a play. So very aggressive laning.
Yeah, well, I think they know they've got this new duo to deal with. They did just beat them in the qualifiers. So, for once, Samsung, the veterans in this situation.
Finally, some of these Samsung players no longer rookies. I mean, they came in last season with 3 rookies on this team, and even Fury only having a single season under his belt.
Yeah.
Wraith, the most seasoned player on this team.
Oh, flash pulverize. Oh, nice
Hello.
headbutt. Fury back into catch, but look at that, taking a ride out on the Lantern. Nice escape. Luna's been really on top of things in game 1 and now saving his ADC in game 2.
Yeah, just trading flash for flash right there in the end, and also getting knowledge of the jungler. So really valuable information coming in for Samsung, even though they do take a few knocks onto their AD carry. Eve is on the bottom side of the map. If Eve needs to make a return counter gank right here, we do see Catch lurking in that brush, and he will be found out and then back off. Eve with a slight level advantage on him. Crown just continuing to push up in this mid lane.
Yeah, just throwing down a ward just to make sure that he's not in any trouble from Catch coming up and trying to mess with him. And Cuvée about to go Mega Gnar there.
Yeah, Kumi with a pretty big CS lead already. Yeah. Soul not able to play quite as aggressively on that minion wave without that flash up, and just getting bullied out as well by the ranged auto attack from the Gnar. Can be a tricky matchup for Maokai. Also forces that extra early Doran's ring just to stay closer in terms of CS this game.
Well, Fury already doing a good job of getting ahead in CS in the bot lane too, just playing this still so aggressively. There's not a lot that Vivid and Dan can do aside from just wait for their minion wave to show up and ask their jungler for ganks.
I'm surprised that we haven't seen really that much pressure onto the Dragon yet. Samsung's not exactly that high up in levels, and Eve still looking to pick up some items here, but even so, Eve going to clear out a ward for backing off. But with the pressure that they've had continuously in the mid and bottom lane, there are opportunities for Eve at least to make it a try, take a stab at getting a solo Dragon.
Well, oh, here we go. Headbutt pulverized. Fury could be in a little bit of trouble. Gets a shield from the Lantern. Luna just steps in to keep the other bot lane back. And I feel like Vivid and Dan have some good attempts, you know? But they're just falling farther and farther behind. 53 CS to 39 now.
I don't think you expect this Jinx lane to be playing as aggressively as they are, but Fury and Luna really look like they're on the same page here in terms of laning, and Luna always stepping in. It seems like chasing Fury down is an illusion for this SBENU bottom lane, because every time it seems like they can punish him, they come up with, Luna comes up with a creative way to get Fury out of that situation and justify his aggressive posturing. It's been really fun to watch this lane this game.
Yeah, I was really impressed with Luna's play last game, and certainly doesn't seem to be letting up at all in game number 2. That Janna had a lot of good whirlwinds, a lot of really impressive ults actually.
Well, it says a lot too, because Wraith and Fury's laning was never really a problem on Samsung. They were always strong in that regard. And here comes the Dragon.
Okay, well, Vivid and Dan are going to maybe try to contest this, but we'll see. Okay, yeah, they have to back off with Catch coming in.
Yeah, Smart Dragon at the ramp right there, or Smart Ward rather at the ramp right there, out of range of the pink ward on the Dragon. So they were seen unable to clear it, and that gave Catch some time to respond and get into that bottom side on time. And that'll force Samsung just to walk off right there. They made the nice attempt. It was a smart play. See if you can take that Dragon. If you can't, just go ahead. Wait for the next time you'll have that window, because you're already winning lanes in bottom and top just in terms of farm. So no need to play overly aggressive right now. You've got great scaling with this Jinx, although you're going to be playing primarily for that mid game. Again, SBENU getting a lot of armor will be problematic just because Lulu's damage will fall off and Nara not having so much damage to speak of. So,
well, it's like you said earlier, it's really all about this Jinx, and if they need Fury to carry, and he's certainly been up to the task so far. See if he can do it. Blue buff checked by Do It, but it's too late.
Yeah, a little bit of a miss timing right there on that blue buff. They assumed that because Crown walked out of lane that he was actually taking the blue, when in fact he was just faking up to the top side. So not the cleanest of decisions right there. He should have known more about the jungler's pathing, considering where Rek'Sai started in this game.
Shouldn't have done it. Now it's just the ADCs. I don't think we're going to get to see the duel. Oh well. Time to go back and buy. And Kube actually doing a lot of damage to Soul there with that Meganar. Pretty close fight, but I feel like you'd give Meganar the edge in the end in that one if we kept going.
Yeah, definitely would.
Yeah.
Well, finally, first buy coming in from Fury, already with the BF sword and the pickaxe right here.
Wow.
And that'll be Dan's time to go back, but this is the Void Rush coming in. They're trying to abuse the recall timing, and they're going to get it. Lucian not there, and we do see Gragas on the top side, so Samsung has a chance just to go for this Dragon right now. It is definitely theirs if they want it. Catch still walking down to that bottom side of the map, and Jinx and Minigun Form's going to clear this Dragon very quickly with these item buy.
Yeah, there's no way that Dan's getting there in time to do anything about it. And so Samsung, that was really close. You've managed to get that with the smite, but that gave me a heart attack for a second.
And Do It actually choosing not to ult right there into the pit.
Yeah.
And there's the ult onto the blue buff instead, but it will be early. So the blue buff transfer still will be safely over to Crown in this situation.
Yep, so things looking pretty good again for Samsung. Nice leads in ADC. Meanwhile, Crown though getting a little bit caught. Gank in the mid lane here. Eve able to get in and save him. Crown forced to ult himself, so that's going to be some damage onto the mid lane turret.
That was a lot of disrespect from Crown. So you know that they know you're at blue because Do It just decided to ult over there, and then Crown opts to walk in that very dangerous pathway without a pink ward in it to make sure that they didn't have vision just to come over the wall and smack him right there. So he has to blow his ult a little bit early. It's going to limit the aggressive options in the mid lane. Kube doing a lot of damage to Soul right there, using his ultimate, but not forcing him to flash.
I feel like that was just kind of one of those rookie moves, you know, that you see from Crown.
Kube still not going back yet. 11 minutes into this game, he's got a lot of farm and a lot of gold to spend at this stage. We're going back for some pretty big buys, but
Yep, I'm just getting used to the idea of Cuvée winning lane, but he seems improved.
Yep.
But then again, it's against SBENU, and it's only the first couple games of the season, but so far so good. Okay, now a rotation into the mid lane. Looks like they're going to try to just do it away from here.
This is not going to work. Like, this isn't the same game. So they tried that same move at about the same timing that we saw in the last match, except instead of a Fizz being there, there is a Ziggs.
Yeah, they're
clearing
just gonna,
out that wave. So you don't really have that same timing at all.
They're going to end up taking damage on their turrets instead.
Okay, finally going back. We'll be able to finish his Hex Drinker and Merc Treads.
Not bad.
And another boot. Oops, what's he doing? He just bought 2 boots. There we go, Spectre
Oh.
Scala and boots. Okay, figured it out in the end. Good job.
All right. Yeah, I don't quite need those Merc Treads just yet, I suppose, Cuvée.
He was on his way to buying 1 Merc Tread for each foot, but he avoided that. Instead,
Well, the trouble with Gnar is that you're always going to outgrow them every, minute or two. You have a couple extra shoes.
But see, the brilliance of Gnar in this skin is that he's just wearing the dinosaur onesie, and then he turns into the dinosaur itself.
His costume becomes him. Or he becomes his costume. Which is it?
He's like Venom from Spider-Man.
That's true. Gnar is Venom. Well, if Gnar is Venom, who's Spider-Man? Oh, Vivid getting flayed back. There's a teleport coming down for SBENU as well, too. I don't know if they're going to get a lot out of that one.
Well, they did force the TP out. It was canceled in the end.
Yes.
They got a flash for it. Luna getting a bit antsy after seeing the TP and not having enough backup necessarily in order to deal with that. Well, Fury going to grab a few more CS here on the bottom side with his rockets. And
I mean, Samsung's got a big teleport edge now, right? And so, let's see what they can get with it. It's going to be a little while until Dragon, though, yeah. All right. There is a ward there, so Eve is seen coming in, I believe. Well, there was a ward there. I think they cleared it out.
Eve still looking for something. Heads up into the tribe rush. Not sure if you can really safely dive this, but yeah, there's the calling just to clear out the wave.
Whoa, Cuvée very, very low, and a lot of trouble here, turning on the Soul. Here comes Catch, just to help finish the job. He's about to be Mega Gnar, though. Cuvée trying to escape, almost dodges that body slam. There's a stun on the Soul as he comes in with the twisted advance, and Cuvée, is he going to get the kill? Zigzal comes in, first blood for Cuvée. Looks like Catch will get the second blood, though.
So close to the wild growth on the flash. Couldn't quite make it.
He tried. It was a nice attempt. Cuvée, though, getting first blood.
Eve now down here. They may want to push them off the turret, so they are going to fast push a turret off of this. No real chance for the defense. Culling down, not able to clear out the wave. And Vivid and Dan.
And that's
force out. Crown's still going, actually. And there's the Void Rush into the mid lane.
Are you kidding me? Look at this. This is the kind of Lulu I like to see. Crown manages to take down Catch. Wow.
So Catch didn't have his ult right there and stuck around on the turret. I'm not really sure how that play was set up because you wouldn't have thought that was possible, especially with Crown's flash down, so he couldn't just flash wild growth himself.
You don't expect a Lulu, to chase a Gragas down to tier 2 and finish him off in top lane.
Man, I don't know what Soul was doing right there. That was a big miscommunication between Soul and Catch because going back in onto Cuvée right as he turned into Mega Gnar and standing next to a wall while he Gnar ults you, what a terrible plan.
It's not a good plan. It's a bad plan.
It was a bad plan.
It's a plan where you die. Well, Dragon's up in 25 seconds, and I feel like after that little series of events, Samsung is in a good position to do something about that. Luna just showing Vivid he knows where he's at.
Yeah, TP advantage still to Samsung as well.
Yep.
Now that this bottom turret's going to get shoved all the way in, it's going to be very difficult for SBENU to actually make a move here.
Good warding by Samsung as well, too.
That's been the story of this series. Samsung's warding has definitely been there.
Yep. And Dragon is up, so Samsung's going to turn on that one. Crown taking a tiny bit of damage, but we'll see if they can take the Dragon. They're not pulling it out of the pit, though. Catch could come in and try to burst that. They're just going to leave off on it. And, oh boy, Catch really is going to try to do it. Can he do it? Now they're coming in Samsung. There's the box for a bit of zoning. Death Sentence misses. Dragon's still very, very low.
Just go ahead and let it release if you're Samsung. You want to use this TP. Narbar nearly full right now. Look at the grab, though. Does get taken by SBENU as they re-aggro the Dragon.
Yep. Eve coming from the side. Do it finally coming down from mid lane. Luna going for another Death Sentence. There's a teleport. Luna may have overextended. Flurry comes, or Fury comes down rather. Luna backing off. Vivid in the middle of everything. And here's Kube into the back lines as Meganar. Big ult against the wall. And the rest of Samsung coming in to try to finish this up. Fury's getting excited. That's going to be a single kill for him, and they're going to turn onto this Dragon. Look at the Samsung team. Not over pursuing. They turn back onto the objective. That's new.
Yeah. And SBENU right there did a good job of waiting until Soul's TP came up.
Yeah.
So they were trying to play that patiently, get the poke down with Ziggs. They even got control over that speed shrine in the river, but their initial setup just wasn't there. The wards were already down. Samsung had the position in the river, and they weren't caught in a choke by Ziggs, so they could just spread out, and they weren't taking a lot of damage from that poke, not zoned out. And so Fury comes back after picking up that kill, already with an Infinity Edge and a Zeal. Look how far ahead of Dan he is.
Yeah.
In terms of that CS, as well as the kill and the assist. And
as well as items, too. I mean,
yeah,
he's got a core item and a Zeal done.
And Dan close to that Infinity Edge at this point, but not quite there yet.
Yeah.
Fury will take a quick detour over for the red buff.
So Athene's first for both of our mid laners as well, too.
Yeah, what you would expect in this matchup. I mean, Ziggs really does benefit from having that big-time mana boost. Very high mana cost champion as it is, and you especially need that. If you want to do the sustained damage in team fights, you have to get that reset on the mana with the kills and assists that you get off of Athene's.
So the question is now for Samsung, can they start pushing down some of these turrets as fast as they did last game? And obviously it's going to take a little bit more time. Ooh, here we go, SBENU coming in. They've locked down Eve for the moment. Looks like they might be able to get a kill. Oh, he gets out on the Lantern though. Meanwhile, uh-oh, here comes Jinx. A lot of damage onto Soul so far. Catch throwing the barrel over the wall. Doesn't hit anybody though. That's another kill for Samsung. Over pursuing a bit. And it costs them a top laner.
It does, but how much more is Samsung going to get for this? There's no Ziggs ult now to clear out this top side. They still have 3 people.
They've got Gragas too. He's able to do plenty of damage to minions. Looks like that'll be enough for now.
It's a lot of poke coming in from Fury though. Those rockets really starting to hurt.
Yep.
With the Infinity Edge and forcing down in the top side, and just this unrelenting pressure. Crown continuing just to shove in that mid lane, and we do see Kube force another wave into the tower after that Ziggs ult goes down, and here's another couple of autos for Jinx in that minigun form, forcing Do It off as well right there, just zoning him. There's the Lantern, ripping Fury out of harm's way.
Can that pink ward not see that stealth ward?
May not be able to.
He just walked right past it. I would imagine he'd see it. He's walking right on top of it. Meanwhile, oh, Soul going for the 1v1 against Kube here. Do It comes in to try to help him pick up that red buff. Meanwhile, more action up in the top lane as that turret's getting very low. Nice grab off the Flame Chompers there on to Catch. A lot of damage onto him.
Yeah, just so much zone control on the tower right now.
Yeah.
Setting up those chompers and then unable to stop Fury as long as the Lantern is there to whisk him to safety.
Yeah, they can't see that ward in the brush. Lunas just like stood on it for a long time. Wow.
Cute little attempt right there, but not going to finish off the kill onto Ziggs. Ziggs bounces away to safety. Did have to use his ghost in that situation.
All right, so Samsung deep in the enemy jungle now. Able to get a lot of vision in. Catch in the tri-brush. Luna
blind hook.
Throws a blind hook in there. Yeah, nearly hits Catch. Got to give it a try.
I saw him go in with the ward, so
yeah.
It was actually proper positioning for Catch right there to be standing in the least likely place for him to blind hook. Right into the top side.
I feel like tops of tri-brush is where everyone's going to start throwing their blind hooks now. That's where everybody hides, is the top of tri-brush.
Furious here again.
Yep.
Taking your turrets.
Good zoning again with the Flame Chompers too, just making sure that nobody can come in and contest it. So now the Bulldozer has begun to roll forward, and Is there anything that SBENU can do to stop it?
Well, they're losing all their lanes.
So
and they're
not.
down 2 dragons, and they're down 5K gold already in this one.
You're not really getting my hopes up here.
I am not trying to. Phantom Dancer now done for Fury as well. Well, the Feed Fury composition is going swimmingly so far.
Aegis of the Legion for Luna as well, just to try to stave off some of that magic damage.
Now, even with this lead, this is the lead that Samsung needs, because you can see the Frozen Heart developing on Catch, Randuin's Omen, and the Ninja Tabi already finished on Soul as well. So they definitely know what they need to do to itemize in this particular situation. Do it actually going for a Void Staff as a second item. That's a bit desperate, I have to say.
Well, I don't know if it's going to save this turret. Doesn't even take out all the minions there.
God, it's so annoying to deal with Jinx in these siege situations.
Yeah.
Because with that shield and the minigun, she could do so much damage before that shield actually breaks, even under direct turret fire, getting 2 or 3 autos off with that attack speed boost. So well, she could be there without a minion wave, still dealing a ton of damage, particularly now that Crown has just finished his death cap as well. So this is a really good time for him to use that big shield onto Fury to get that last remaining outer turret.
Only a couple seconds till Dragon comes up again, so Samsung's going to be looking for maybe a pick here before they move near the pit. They've got vision.
And SBENU has no Ziggs ult either, so there's not really a good way.
The damage from Jinx. Okay, they're going to go for it. Catch tried to use his ult to maybe knock somebody back. Wild Growth used on Fury just for safety's sake.
Yeah, Fury also flashed right there, so that's one less tool he's going to have available to him.
Yep. Did you see how much damage he was doing to do it, though?
Yep.
That's pretty insane.
There we go. They've got the position they want right now, and they can continue just swapping back and forth.
Well, they grab Catch right under the Flame Chompers. He's in a lot of trouble now. Vivid over the wall, though. Teleport coming in for Samsung to support. And here we go. Soul going deep. They're on to Crown. Dragon activated, too, hitting some of the members of Samsung. Meanwhile, Fury just in the middle of everything, just unafraid. He's getting excited now again. And that's enough for Samsung. They're just going to turn and take this Dragon, maybe grab this mid lane turret first.
You want to take the mid turret first, push the wave, and then safely take that Dragon. That way you can maximize your objectives. There's the ult coming in again. Nearly takes out Crown, but not quite.
Yep.
Be a little bit overly ambitious, I feel, at this stage to go for the Baron. Just go ahead, take the 3rd Dragon, keep those stacks rolling, and
yeah, just play it safe. You've already got a big lead. I mean, the game is yours to win or lose at this point if you're Samsung. Easy 3rd Dragon. Samsung looking just miles ahead of SBENU Sonicboom in this first match anyway.
Well, and that 1 kill onto Kuve as well is the only thing that's preventing SBENU from actually getting perfect games so far.
Yeah.
No towers taken, no dragons taken here by SBENU, so it's been a pretty thoroughly dominant performance across the map for Samsung.
Yep. I mean, and SBENU came into this specifically building a composition to try to stop what happened last game from happening. And, you know, they've got a comp where it's inevitable that they'll slow it down a bit at least, but they're not really stopping it in any way, shape, or form.
Well, Samsung's really been on top of the turret game once again. They seem to have found a niche that they can really leverage into some of these wins against at least weaker opponents pretty easily. There we go, Samsung coming back again. The question is, what do they do now that they have that outer turret down? Certainly they're in a place to threaten that Baron, particularly as Jinx gets more and more items. Fury on the cusp of that last Whisper now, and that's going to make a world of difference, especially as SBENU has yet to complete one of those big armor items at this stage. He should hit that 3-item power spike right as Randuin's or this Frozen Heart are completed, and that's going to do a lot to nullify those items.
It's pretty good timing.
Yeah, very good timing.
Well, Samsung still setting up for that Baron. They've gotten most of the wards out of the way for now. And they're actually doing it from over the wall. Look at that. Wow, that is so sneaky. Fury just doing so much damage that SBENU, they suspect. Oh, and now they see it.
Yeah, now they have to back off. You see they back off immediately after that, Eve with the tunnel.
It was a cute idea.
Underneath the wall, but you have to be suspicious.
Yep.
And Nice attempt from Samsung. Might as well take a stab and then just immediately back off if you need to.
I think it'd be more appropriate to say take a shot.
Take a shot.
At it this time. Well, keeping the lanes pushed up. At this point, Samsung can be pretty leisurely about all this. Do you think they can just kind of wait for the next dragon or another opportunity around Baron?
Sure. I mean, you could stack dragons at this point if you want. Again, you have to be worried about this going into the late game because Thornmails are really going to throw off your groove here.
I suppose. So if you're Samsung, maybe you do feel a little bit of pressure at least.
As long as you can stop him from doing the Baron and stacking to 5. I mean, a dragon right now would be absolutely huge for SBENU because they might be able to turtle long enough to take this to a win. But that 8K gold gap is getting pretty big, even for a more single damage threat team to deal with.
Very true.
And unfortunately for them as well, Crown is definitely ahead of Do It in terms of itemization because he didn't take the triage build of early Void Staff, instead went for the Death Cap and has nearly completed the Void Staff himself right now. So Slulu going to be doing quite a lot.
All right, so warding mission from SBENU. Gonna take out a few here. Another turret falls in bot lane. And oh, they caught catch.
Well, they got the Scuttle Crab, but definitely was not worth it as...
Nope. Oh, Kube has to back off a little bit, taking pretty much a full culling from Dan. The chase continues, but he's leading them away while his team does Baron. So if they take out Kube, totally worth it. Here comes the Ziggs ultimate. Not doing a whole lot, except helping Samsung out. And there we go, Baron for Samsung Galaxy.
And Kube gets away in the end without having to use Flash as well.
That's impressive.
And here we go once again, Samsung with his hard push. Now they did so much with the Baron buff in that last game.
And this is a big chance too to push back SBENU and get ready for that fourth dragon as well, I suppose.
Fury's going in.
Uh-oh, Do It. A lot of trouble. Flashes over the Flame Choppers. Death Sentence does miss. They're going to knock Luna way back in there, so that's a kill for SBENU. A little bit overeager for Samsung there.
Well, Luna did try and flash hook that.
He did.
And then got bounced immediately into the turret. So Samsung trying to be a little bit stylish right there. But
I like the effort. I like the effort. I like the style, you know.
They still got a turret thanks to split pushing Rek'Sai.
Yeah.
So all was not lost. A big commitment there just for a kill. In the end, Samsung does come out ahead. But losing that Baron on the support, not the most impactful either, obviously. Yeah, losing it on your top or your, in this case, the jungler, because Rek'Sai is a jungler that can split push as though she had teleport with the Void Rush is much more important. And Dragon up in 40 seconds. Here comes the setup. Fury just pushing ahead while he can.
Kube
and that
getting
blue
aggro.
buff actually taken by Kube.
He's getting aggro with his build too.
Oh boy.
I believe that's the new Black Cleaver icon.
It is the new Black Cleaver.
Wow. It's very dark.
Honestly, I mean, it's by no means a terrible build. We see, if we talk about what it does, so if we think about how a lot of these Gnar players used to build Frozen Mallet just for split pushing purposes and for abusing a melee opponent, I mean, instead of slowing your opponent, you get that phage speed boost instead, and you can start to cut through the armor in terms of auto grasp. But here he's just actually going straight for the tower.
He's kind of ignoring Soul completely.
Look at this.
Wow, look at the damage.
Yeah, you can do a lot of damage. This new Black Cleaver is very strong.
Yeah, Soul losing quite a bit of health there.
So I think it is understandable why you would take it.
Well, there's Dragon number 4 for Samsung. They continue to just sort of walk all over SBENU, which is funny because SBENU is a shoe company. So.
Wow, that is just incredibly irritating to deal with this Gnar with the phage speed boost. And there's a banner of command.
Wow, they have to use a Grog Assault just to keep this terrifying mini Gnar away.
Well, they can't deal with the banner either.
Yeah.
So banner of command on the support right here, and there's really nothing they can do to clear out this minion, actually.
He's a one-man army.
You're terrible.
I got 10 hours of sleep in the last 3 days. All right, turret goes down in top lane, and Fury's going to take the one in mid easily enough. Not even burning through that Lulu shield. Kuve's Mega Gnar now.
Still haven't killed the minion.
Nope. Kuve and this minion, man.
Honestly, Banner's a fantastic buy in this situation.
Oh wow, the exhaust.
Wow.
Dan, he gets away. Kuve makes it out.
Nicely played by Kuve. So Banner in this particular scenario, when you have this early Baron, is actually a really good buy. Because if you think about how they're going to clear it out, the only way they can deal with this minion is with Lucian.
Yeah, only physical damage will do it.
So they actually can't turtle with Ziggs as long as the Baron is up and that Banner minion is there, and it actually wins them a turret for their teleport. Meanwhile, Kuve just teleports right back to the inhibitor.
Yeah, they're going to take out 2 inhibitors at the same time here, possibly. They may just win the game right here, too. Vivid charging in with Home Guard, but look at this. Already, Dan is very low health. There goes one inhibitor. The one on top is going to fall very soon as well, too. Nice rocket. Oh, Fury, Wild Growth keeping him alive. He's running away. Excited enough. Oh, there's the kill buffer to it. Oh, wow, a lot of damage at the ult, too.
Right onto the minefield.
Yep.
But they got 2 inhibitors for it, so, I mean, Kuve was absolutely scot-free and just autoing the inhibitor to death by himself.
Hashtag worth.
In the top side, he now has a pickaxe as well. Maybe he will be going for that Frozen Mallet eventually.
Just keep building damage. Grab an IE while you're at it.
IE Gnar. That would please
not?
me. Yeah, the new Black Cleaver. Definitely understandable why you would buy that in this situation. More health, getting that cooldown reduction is so nice on a champion like Gnar as well.
Soul just cannot do anything to Kuve right now.
In spite of having a frozen heart too, so that's really saying something. All right, well, 2 more minutes until the next Baron. We'll see. Samsung definitely does not need to wait for the next Baron with their massive gold lead to finish this one.
You know, actually, oh, there's Mauve Malmortius now for Kuve.
Ah, it was a Maw, okay.
I was going to say, do you build maybe a Last Whisper with this, too, if you're just going all out on the damage?
Nah, I think you have enough armor penetration with the Black Cleaver, just with the auto attacks right there.
It's true.
By itself.
Well, now Kuve is ready to truly slay people. Teleport coming in from behind. Soul's going to try to make a flank here. Samsung backing away. Luna getting a little bit caught. He hooks Dan. There we go. Here comes the engage. Can SBENU do anything about this? Kuve a little bit on his own, but here comes Fury from behind. He's got to be careful. Fury getting close. There's the kills coming in now. Soul trying to lock up this mid laner, but he just can't do enough damage. The shields are too strong. Meanwhile, Kuve just playing his own game. Whoa! Here's the rocket.
He was actually playing Dan's game right there.
I think so. Dance Revolution. Goodbye. Oh, he lives. Oh, Fury, he wants it. Yeah, there it is. He's excited now. Oh, no! Oh, the Nexus kills Fury, but the rest of the team kills the Nexus. GG and a 2-0 for Samsung in their first match of the season. Looking good.